For the past few months, there's been one big question on my mind, and that is it time to buy XRP? You see, Ripple pretty much saved our industry with their partial win against the SEC.
Ripple didn't violate securities by selling XRP on public exchanges.
It was the first major victory that any crypto company had ever won against them, and it had been pending for years. So that was a certified game changer, and you'd think that it'd be bullish for XRP, right? Well, the markets didn't seem to think so, because after pumping 75%, it retraced that entire pump a few weeks later. So clearly the answer to my original question isn't as simple as it seems. That's why I had to dig a lot deeper and do a ton of research into the state of XRP. And you know what? After looking at the evidence from both sides, I still can't decide whether or not it's time to buy. That's why I want to share with you all the points that I found for and against buying XRP, and you let me know which side is more convincing, alright? Let's start with a case for buying XRP. First, sentiment surrounding Ripple and XRP are at a multi-year high right now. And this shouldn't be surprising, right? They just had a huge legal victory after all. But it's not just the XRP army feeling bullish. The average crypto investor is feeling more optimistic about the project as well. So that's a strong reason to consider buying XRP, because as we all know, sentiment drives price action in the crypto world. But perhaps an even stronger reason beyond general sentiment is that the XRP army is finally vindicated and freed. They were pretty much forsaken by the rest of the crypto world when their favorite project was sued in late 2020. But now there's nothing holding them back. And boy, are they back with a vengeance. The XRP army is one of the largest and most fanatical communities in crypto after all. In 2018, CoinDesk called them one of the most influential forces in all of crypto. So this is a strong reason to buy XRP, because a loyal community can generate a ton of consistent buying pressure. And when they buy, you know that they hold with diamond hands. So that's amazing, of course, but that buying pressure and demand is set to be even greater because of my third point, and that's the fact that access to XRP has greatly increased across the board. If you don't remember, most exchanges and platforms delisted XRP when Ripple was first sued by the SEC. So it was kind of difficult to buy XRP even if you tried really hard. But now, after its most recent legal victory, a ton of major exchanges and services relisted XRP, which of course greatly boosted its volume and liquidity. It's not only that though, if you look at this graph, you see that on-chain transaction volume, circulation, and developer activity also reached multi-month highs. So my point is that XRP's metrics are the best that it's been in a long time, and that can only bode well for its price performance. But wait, because it's not just some temporary excitement that's going to drive more demand for XRP. There's another, more fundamental reason as to why demand will increase, and that has to do with a recent announcement by one of Ripple's longtime partners. You see, one of the biggest criticisms against XRP was that all of Ripple's big name partners didn't really have to use XRP when they used Ripple's solutions. Like they could if they wanted to, but most of them chose not to because it's extra friction. But now that has changed because Ripple's longtime partner SBI Remit just announced an expansion plan to use XRP as the bridge currency for remittances in Southeast Asia. So this is a huge welcome change. And perhaps it's a sign that XRP will finally get adopted by Ripple's enterprise clients. Now, of course, Ripple's products can and do utilize XRP occasionally, but something that utilizes XRP 100% of the time is the XRP Ledger, or XRPL. That's their public blockchain, by the way, and it utilizes XRP as their native currency, in the same way that Ethereum utilizes ETH. So if the XRPL has a pop in ecosystem, then that will directly translate into more demand for the XRP. But then the question becomes, is their ecosystem actually poppin'? Well, it's not as big as Ethereum's or Solana's by any stretch, but they do have some exciting stuff on the horizon, like their very own automated market maker, which is poised to be launched on their mainnet once an amendment is passed. And that can bring way more trading activity and liquidity to the XRPL, which would likely increase demand for XRP. Now, this last reason to buy XRP is just a rumor. But boy, is it a game changer if it actually happens. So someone posted this tweet predicting the future of Ripple, right? His first two predictions were that Ripple would fully settle with the SEC and then proceed to IPO. Now, usually I wouldn't take such a tweet by a satirical account seriously, but Ripple's own CTO David Schwartz actually commented on that tweet and said that two of those predictions would come true. So I don't know if he's joking or not, but also I don't think it's crazy to think that Ripple will settle an IPO, as the community has been talking about that for a while now. Either way, all I know is that if those two predictions do come true, oh my goodness, that would be such a huge win for them. It would boost sentiment massively, and you can bet that a ton of people would ape into XRP, hence making it a must buy before that happens. Anyways, if you're already itching to buy some XRP and don't feel like watching the case against it, then one great place to do so is on Coinbase Advanced, who's also the sponsor of our video. By now you must have heard of Coinbase, right? They're one of the biggest and most trusted exchanges in all of crypto. But if you're not using Coinbase Advanced, then you are seriously missing out. Coinbase Advanced is their revamped trading platform for advanced traders. It has everything you could ask for. I'm talking advanced charts by TradingView, real-time order books with high throughput APIs, deep liquidity for over 500 markets, and a transparent volume-based fee structure that's competitive with other exchanges. But I think what I like the most as a user of Coinbase Advanced is their ironclad security features. They have YubiKey support, address whitelisting, multi-approval vaults, all of which I use and all of which help me sleep soundly at night while keeping some funds on their platform. So yeah, Coinbase Advanced is a must try in my opinion. I personally use it, and it's also a great place to buy XRP if you decide to after watching this video. Go check them out using my link below. All right, it's time for the cons, aka the case against buying XRP. I think the biggest thing is that the SEC may appeal their case, and if they're successful, then that means that Ripple would end up losing after all. Our whole industry was so ecstatic after Ripple's partial victory that we forget that it's not even set in stone yet. Like the SEC has already requested an appeal, and that kind of worries me because several respected crypto lawyers have said that the judge got it wrong in the Ripple case. They said that of course they would love for Ripple to win, but the judge's decision rests on shaky legal grounds. After all, another US district judge already ruled the other way in the Terra Luna case and specifically called out the Ripple decision as being wrong. So perhaps we may have celebrated too soon as the Ripple case is far from over. But also, even if it does stand, Ripple, the company, could still get wrecked. Remember, they only won a partial victory, as their institutional sales of XRP were still ruled a securities violation by the judge. So they may have to go to trial for that or settle with the SEC. But some people on Twitter were saying that Ripple would have to return the full amount of their institutional sales plus pay penalties on that. So if you add it all up, it could equal almost $1 billion in fines. And then the question becomes, will that bankrupt Ripple? Because most likely they do not have that sort of cash on their balance sheet to pay off such a hefty fine. So they'll likely have to sell even more XRP to raise the funds needed to pay that off. And if that's the case, then we surely don't want to hold too much XRP, or else we'll just be getting dumped on relentlessly. Speaking of dumping on us, the Ripple team has been selling quite a bit of XRP on the open markets lately. In early September, 1 billion XRP was unlocked by their escrow system, and the Ripple team kept 200 million of that for themselves. So far, they already sent around 30 million XRP to an exchange to sell, which begs the question, was that to raise money to pay for their upcoming fines? That is what a lot of people are saying on Twitter after all. Either way, regardless of the reason that they're selling, you can bet that it's hurting the price because we're in a bear market right now and there's not a lot of demand to counteract that. And speaking of demand, another reason in the case against XRP is that we still can't be certain that Ripple's activities are truly driving demand for XRP. You know that recent announcement I mentioned about how SBI Remit would be using XRP for remittances? Well, a Forbes article alleges that it's all just an elaborate ruse on the part of Ripple and that they're using their partners like Tranglo to dump XRP on the open markets instead of having any real organic demand for XRP. That Forbes article quotes Martin Walker, a director of banking and finance at the Center for Evidence-Based Management. Quote, Ripple continues putting huge efforts into promoting the story that they're improving remittances and cross-border payments. But whenever information about the reality comes out, it's all just about selling XRP. So yeah, if that is true, then we may need to pump the brakes on our excitement about the SBI partnership news, as that would mean that there's less organic adoption than we think, and it's all just a convoluted way of selling XRP. But then lastly, and more fundamentally speaking, there's the question of whether there's still a point for XRP with stablecoins growing so much. Because XRP is supposed to bring certain benefits as a bridge currency in terms of liquidity, speed, etc. But with stablecoins on the rise, we may not really need a separate bridge currency and could instead use USDT or USDC as they have a lot of liquidity, fast speeds, and low costs as well. Anyways, this has been a ton of food for thought. but I want to know which way you are leaning after hearing both sides. Also, next up in this Time to Buy series is Cardano and ADA. So if you want to watch that, then you gotta subscribe right now.